Death smiled his only smile, a full twist of the lips that raised one corner slightly, giving him a boyish-looking charm that never failed to bring whatever woman he used it upon to his side. What they didn't notice was that his smile never touched his cold gray eyes that had seen so much heartache they no longer reflected emotion, eyes that matched the lack of heartbeat from his chest. His lungs filled and released, not because he required breath, but because he found that not breathing occasionally drew alarm from those he beckoned forward. Death had long ago learned that the moments he lived were more successful if he remembered to imitate his prey. She came to his side as he had known she would. She gave him what she thought was a seductive smile, wrongly assuming she still had some say in the way the evening unfolded. Death put a hand on her back, guiding her toward the door. He stifled a sigh at the touch of red silk beneath his fingers and the brush of her store-bought blonde hair against the back of his hand. Funny how silk could make his stomach turn over when he used to look forward to the moments of feeling after his list was done. He opened the door for her. The girl looked at him in surprise. Apparently, the gesture made her wonder about his character. Ironic how a look of lust could bring her to his side, but a simple act of chivalry filled her with doubt. He was never chivalrous. Strange that such an impulse had come to him. He noted that it was better to be rude and not raise suspicion than remember some rare courtesy of the past and have his character questioned. It was well beyond questioning. He was death, after all. He took a deep breath outside Stumble Inn. The name was what drew him to the bar most nights. He appreciated a good sense of irony. The air was dank and scented by the garbage in the trash can that overflowed into the alley. Something close to a hint of rain lingered in the air, but it also could have been the dull tang of exhaust from the taxis that limped down the street, or the tenacious odor of vomit on the sidewalk that refused to wash away with the bucket of dirty water Polly the bouncer poured on it. Others complained of the quality of the city air, but after a day and a half, the night spent without the use of senses, Death even appreciated the way the vile stench adhered to his nostrils, like a druggie clinging to the number of his provider. The smile touched his face. "Looking forward to our time together?" the woman asked, mistaking the look. Death fought back the impulse to open the door to the bar again and take the girl back inside. That would have been true chivalry. His smile twisted, and dark humor at his own black thoughts turned his gray gaze malevolent. "Certainly." He started off down the sidewalk, leaving the woman to pick her own way across the cracks in heels that would have put a giraffe to shame. He was grateful to breathe in only the night air for a moment. Her perfume was heavy enough to drown them both and a few cats besides. A thought rose that had begun to tickle the back of his mind with increasing frequency. Why did he bother? If he couldn't stand the women who followed him back to the small apartment he kept for the hour or so a night that was his, why did he do it? And he thought the living had bad habits. He snorted to himself and turned down the next block. The staccato sound of pegs on cement followed him relentlessly, smashing any hopes that he might have lost her. He waited long enough for her to catch the main door, then made his way to stairs that had probably never been cleaned. In fact, he wouldn't have been surprised to learn that the tight-wad landlord installed already dirty carpet when he bought the place. "How far up are you?" the woman whined in a voice any bobcat would be proud of. "The top," Death answered, and was inordinately pleased with the huff of disgust that met his reply. The woman took off her shoes and followed him up, muttering under her breath that it would have been easier to seduce the guy missing 2 front teeth at the table closest to the bar. Death pretended to fumble with his keys. Reluctance filled him to enter the tiny apartment. He gave in and opened the door, motioning for the woman to enter. An hour later, Death lay alone once more on his bed atop the covers, staring at the glass-inlaid ceiling. Clouds lazed across the light-polluted sky. He knew there were stars out there, and even thought he saw one once in a while, but knew deep down they were satellites, wished upon by 1,000 kids each night. He knew because he had heard them,